Well, but what people think is to have a good marriage, I've got to keep work at work and keep home at home.
Oh, we have been trained to do that. Yeah. Everyone looking for
Right.
like work-life balance.
But the
That's
truth
hogwash.
is, what Bammy has learned is there are techniques and tactics to align your marriage and work.
That's right. To
Like-
put it in harmony, right?
Tammy, how long do we spend at work every week?
Well, minimum, I would say most people minimum 40 hours. If you're in your true, like building
Right.
a big life, closer to 50, maybe
Mhm.
55 hours.
So the people we coach,
Let's say 50 hours.
so there are 3 types of couples that we coach in this specific area. You have the couple that works together, right? So Tammy and I,
That used to be us.
we built a business together, and it was awesome. And so, but for us, we had to be careful to protect time that we didn't just talk about work, because for us, our career was really was a passion. It was a purpose, and we kind of just talked about it all the time, which sometimes was not healthy, right? The second couple is the couple where both of them are professionals. Like we coach high performing couples.
Yeah, high achievers. That's
Right.
right.
So that means one of them is a doctor and the other one is a marketing executive at a firm someplace, right? So now you have 2 careers and kids at home, and how does all that work, right? The third couple that we coach, and probably most common, is one of the spouses is a high performer somewhere making the money, and the other spouse, who generally is college educated and had some kind of career, has decided to stay home and take care of the kids. Which
Well,
of
they're
course,
high performing at home.
that's right, is
Right.
a major purpose. And we would argue, your purpose as a parent is to raise great adults,
Yes.
that are out in the world performing, right? We've been fortunate enough to have 5 of those, and so far so good. They're doing fine,
They're all doing awesome.
right? So those are the 3 types of couples that we coach kind of on this concept, right? So I don't know, Tammy, talk a little bit about, I think some of the traps of trying to separate work and home as a concept.
Well, I know for us, when we had goals together, we knew what we were running at. And so the trap can be if you don't work together. So for your example, you had the high performing attorney and the high performing marketing executive. It would be great. The trap is you're both running at these goals, and the trap is not sharing the goals with your spouse. Because there are just times when you have a run, a 90-day burn, a 6-month run,
Yes.
a 2-year, whatever the run is, it's a push for that huge goal. But if you're not sharing it with your spouse, what happens is the spouse can feel neglected, or it can feel very siloed, like, oh, he has his goals, I have my goals. And then the trap is you don't have goals together.
Right.
You're not growing together. So we share our goals with each other, but then we also create goals for the couple, for us as a couple, I should say. And so you can stay out of that trap.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, for example, let's say in the attorney world, the path to partner. Okay.
For an equity partner.
Every law
specifically.
firm has a path to partner, and of course there's sacrifices in time. So you would want to sit down with your spouse, whether they're staying at home or they're also in a career, so that they understand, okay, for the next 4 years, these are going to be 50 to 60 hour weeks. There's going to be, 2 months before tax season, if you're a tax partner, right? Where I'm going to be working, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right. But if we sacrifice that now, let's talk about that. Do we want to do that? Hey, when I'm, 38 or 42, now stuff normalizes. I have this staff. I'm mentoring up partners, and our income is here, which now is going to allow us to travel more with the kids,
That's
travel
right.
together.
Painting that vision, right?
Exactly.
Why am I working like this? Why am I running in that great example? Why am I running for partner? And I think that's a wonderful example. Now, another way to potentially look at this is we have so many goals for work. shouldn't we have goals for our love life too?
Mm-hmm.
We just weren't maybe raised or in an environment where we talked about that. I know I wasn't. I don't believe you were.
No.
And so now we talk about our love goals, our life goals. It's not just about work. And that's the misconception, that if we make enough money and we're successful at work, home love's going to just work out.
Right.
Oh my gosh, how many times have we seen that not work out because of the assumption there? So let's make some love goals and some life goals. And when you have your work goals, share that as well.
Right. Yep. But that's what happens. And it's fun to go back to, like, you see TV shows where couples are fighting, because whoever has the job is out busting their butt. So the perception is, I'm working my butt off for the family. And the spouse that's staying home is kind of just feeling neglected. They don't know. You haven't told them.
Yeah.
Right. So then the spouse that's working all the time is feeling like, well, you don't appreciate all the sacrifices I'm making. Hey, I'd love to hang out with the kids too. Whereas the spouse at home is just feeling like they don't matter, like they're not important to their most important person.
Yeah.
Because you never communicated the family plan. And guess what? The family plan is about the careers. Sorry, right? Like I always say, the spouse doesn't have to be involved in this business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tammy and I work together. We were both very involved in our business. I am still involved in her business on her lending side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But for spouses that stay in home, they need to be informed.
That's right.
Informed. So Tammy, what are some other ways that spouse that doesn't work at the law firm should be informed?
Well, you're hanging out with the other attorneys.
Right.
And so get to know the families, get to know the spouses, right? Have double dates with the other attorneys in the office, have double dates with whomever, maybe some other key business people that you're out with. Get to know them a little more personally. And maybe it's not a double date. Maybe that other partner is single, but there are events. There's holiday parties, there's family picnics. There could be other, type of team events. Involve your spouse, involve your partner so that when you're coming home and talking about this project you're working on with this other person, they have a visual and they can also feel like you just said, informed. And actually, even though that they're not involved on the day-to-day, they feel involved. Right. Because they have a connection with this other person.
Right. So the people are important. And so in my first marriage, one of the challenges was that I was working a ton, hadn't communicated that whole plan. My first wife was also in the banking world. So I just kind of assumed she got it. Right. Whatever. And what evolved is she started to build some resentment around kind of the company. Like, I don't want to go on these dinners anymore. I don't, those people, I don't want to go. You spend all your time with them. So she didn't really know them. Right. And so therefore she started to be a little just upset with them because they were taking my time kind of. Right. So there came a point where the chairman's clubs, the president clubs trips, like the first couple of years with either, she always went. We had a great time. Well, then it started to evolve, because then we had our first baby, more busyness. I had to go as a partner. And so she started not going. But then it kind of built that you're always here, you're not home enough. And she stopped going. And she not only built a disconnection with the company and what I was doing, it built a disconnection between us because it felt like she was taking second place to this company and these people, but she also wasn't involved with them anymore.
That brings up something really interesting because I think certain industries are built differently than other industries. So let's talk about lending. In the mortgage lending industry, teams are together for a lot of hours and it's a very personal type of relationship.
Yeah.
And we have that opportunity to get to know the spouses, get to know the families, have family outings, things along those lines, holiday parties, chairman's clubs. But for other industries, let's say the legal industry, the medical industry, not necessarily built like that. Right. So I think just understanding your partner, your spouse, who just explaining the difference in the industries, how tight knit is the industry? What does a typical environment look like? Invite them to the office, even if it's not a tight knit industry, or to your place of employment, right? To your career, just where it's at. And I think just having a visual on that and them feeling welcome and known to the colleagues. Maybe it's not like you have summer picnics and you do all those things together. But I think just having an understanding of what is a traditional work environment look like is a big deal.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
No, and I think another thing, and we will talk a lot about money and marriage money, right, in these sessions. So if you want to hear more about that, certainly hit the link, subscribe. There's going to be more talk about money. But another mistake we see in the couples where one spouse has the career and the other one stays at home with the kids is they don't know about the money, and they specifically don't know the effort of today or tomorrow, or hey, if we get this deal closed,
what that means.
Here's what it means.
That's
right?
Such a great
point. You have to share that.
Yes.
Right? Because when they understand that, hey, this 1 month where you're at this consultation thing and you're working inside this company for 8 hours. Hey, if we get this right, and maybe they're going public or there's a public offering, hey, this could mean a $200,000 bonus in February instead of no bonus.
Correct.
Understanding that's really important.
Or this could mean 2 getaways, babe, for us. Because, I'm blessed to be in a position where it's a $200,000 bonus. But what if it's an extra $5,000-$6,000, right? This overtime that I'm getting the option to work. Right. What if that overtime means 2 getaways just for us? Maybe one's to Lake Geneva. Maybe another one is, if you're in Chicagoland, maybe another one is down to Galena. But it's 2 getaways just for us, hun. And that's why I'm working so hard. I think your point we've always had these discussions.
Yes.
And very normalized for us. But these were the ahas that our teams have come to us saying, that is gold right there. You mean you plan those times away and you explain what the money means? Right. Because money, we know, is a different language.
But you talk about payoffs a lot.
Yes.
So in business, we have all these payoffs. I'm going to get my bonus, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what Tammy just described would be a payoff.
At home.
Hey, I'm going to be busting my tail here for these months. We're going to make this bonus. Mm-hmm. And in February, long weekend to Cabo.
Oh,
let's book it.
I love Cabo.
Here's what we're doing, or whatever it is, right? But when the team is around the work and the knowledge is shared, again, informed and not necessarily involved, but then there's also payoffs. Everything is more aligned. It's just more aligned. Keeping work and home completely separate is just bad advice. It doesn't work. There's got to be communication, understanding.
Mm-hmm. And build some payoffs at home too. I've heard this. You have a top executive. He runs a company. She runs a company. But let's use the gentleman idea. Okay. It's a CEO, runs a company, runs it all, and then comes home and is relegated to taking out the trash. That's for real a thing.
Yeah.
And you can go from, I run everything here, but when I get home, this is how I feel. And it's not that the trash is not important, but have maybe we not associated a payoff to helping at home, like you get a payoff at work, you hit the goal and you get a bonus or you get some recognition. That's why I love that you went to the payoff side.
Yeah.
Let's build some payoffs at home. The success at home built will make your success at work even larger. And imagine if you built it all and you're so successful during the day and then your home life falls apart. Is it worth it?
Well, it goes the other way too. If you're not happy at home we know you're not performing at work.
Not to the highest degree that you can.
Right?
That's right.
I think the stat that we saw was it's like $300 billion
a year in lost
corporate America in lost
productivity
due to strife at home. Not necessarily divorce, just people that are struggling at home and they don't know how to cope and they take that to work and don't perform. If you want to know how to deal with that better, please subscribe because that's all that we talk about in our content.